what I learned growing up was that the opposite of depression was not happiness, but the sense of purpose and feeling like you're living life on your terms. So I built a world around those ideas because my contention is that there's room for everyone at the table. There's room for everyone to be our broken, beautiful, messy selves and contribute a whole lot. And I believe that we can do what we love and get paid to do it. And we don't have to save the doing what we love till when we retire or till Sunday afternoon in the garden. We can do it all the time. I think the people who are successful have probably been through a lot. When I meet people who've had a really easy past, I worry that they won't necessarily have the resilience to be in business because there's a ton of rejection. And I think when the stakes are really high and the pain of staying where you're at, when that's worse than the fear of failing again, you move. In fact, sitting on my desk right now, you said share something you've never shared. There's a quote on my desk. It says, "And then the day came when the risk to remain tight inside the bud became more painful than the risk it took to blossom." And I think because my mom was suicidal when I was growing up, my parents were such unhappy adults, I felt like, okay, well, I'm going to have to leave this stupid job and go figure it out. I have to. I have no choice because I don't want to be miserable. And what I learned about business is that it's not about us. I think that people think business is about business, right? But business is just about empathy for other people. If it's a hobby, you don't have to think about other people. But as soon as it's a business, you definitely have to start to ask the question, who am I serving and what do they need? It's really hard to serve and make a living. Making a living means somebody else is paying you. So I learned to seek to understand and then to see if I could make something authentic that I loved making that other people would also resonate with. And that was such a fun problem to have. Like, oh, could I do something I love doing that's also going to support this person so that they'll pay me because they'll see value in it? And I wound up doing that. And I think if somebody is successful, once, you could say it's maybe luck. But if someone does something over and over and over again, you have to look at like, well, what's the strategy? And what I wound up doing is a lot of other things that stemmed from my songwriting business, and they all continued to grow. And I think what was at the root of it was radical empathy for other people. One thing that I think has helped me be successful that I think is a tactic that everyone needs to hear, and this kind of all goes together. I think everybody has genius. I know that actually.
I believe it.
Yeah, but what they're missing is momentum. What they're missing is they just don't put it out there enough. Yeah, and I think that sometimes people are listening to all this and they feel really pumped up. And then there's other times where people feel like, I don't get it. I've listened to the podcast, read the books, I've done the courses, and I'm just not making progress. And I think it's because we just don't do the Marie Kondo. Like, there is a closet filled with stuff and it's got to get cleaned out. And if you're walking around and that belief is like a light switch, it's either on or off. And if inside your heart, you're still carrying around these words from your father or your mother saying like, it'll never happen, or you don't deserve it, or there's some shame around who you are and why you even should put this out. Who are you to put this out? And you're not an expert. If all that stuff is really keeping you hostage, it's almost impossible. Because in order for you to make this work, you have to take massive amounts of action, like everyone says. And there's some real stuff that you've been through that might need just a tiny bit of like excavating so that you can make room to create a new possibility. Everything is energy. Like when you pick up the phone and call someone or you send someone an email, people can tell when you're trying to prove yourself and pitch and be super impressive or when you're really there to make a connection.
Right.
So in order for you to walk in the room and be present and stop trying to get something, but just connect, you have to drop in. You have to actually be there and be a human. And that means you have to have some compassion for yourself and let go of the shame around like, okay, so you're not perfect. Either is the person you're reaching out to. People are feeling really alone in this world. And I think that we could be connecting. In the jungle, animals will make themselves try to look bigger because they feel scared or intimidated. And that's what we all do. And instead, if you can lean into the vulnerability, that's actually the glue. So instead of being this peacock with these big feathers, if you could just be like, hi, I'm here. What's up? it's amazing how that changes things. And then especially if you make space, have empathy and listen, everyone can do that. Everyone can listen to someone else and have empathy. And at the end of the day, that's what people need more than anything.